Greetings, Marines. My name is Master Sergeant Marshall, and in this period of instruction, I'll be covering a brief snapshot of the Marine Corps' uniform and grooming regulations. I will also address appropriate civilian attire, which is what you will be wearing on Liberty. At its most fundamental, a neat, clean, and odor-free presence, or maintaining a look good, feel good, smell good approach to your physical appearance in and out of uniform shows good attention to detail and is a definite confidence booster. Here's a quick overview of the topics I'll be covering. Although the Marine Corps uniform Although the Marine Corps uniforms have a long, prestigious history, this class will not go over that history. This class will focus on that basic officer uniform knowledge you will need to know in order to complete the POI and purchase the uniforms needed prior to graduation. We will not go over the enlisted uniforms such as the maternity uniform and organizational uniforms such as frog gear, flight suits, and coveralls, etc. This lesson does not satisfy all the requirements you need to know as a Marine Corps officer. These are just the basics. You're still responsible to review the Marine Corps Uniform Regulations Order and the references listed in the next slide to educate yourself on the uniforms your enlisted Marines will wear in the fleet and other uniform items that are not covered in this lesson. Here are your references. Marine Corps Order Papa 1020 TAC 34 Hotel, released in 2018, is the Marine Corps Uniform Regulations Order. Tables 2 TAC 1, 2 TAC 2, and 2 TAC 3 are great tools to use to understand the use and the components authorized to wear for each uniform. In conjunction with the uniform order, updates are made by the Uniform Board and released via MART-Admin and all MAR messages. MAR-Admin 596/18 and all MAR 028/19 are those changes that were incorporated into the uniform regulations. The TBS SOP, where you will find details on the appropriate wear of officer civilian attire while a student here at TBS and for the future. Lastly, Marine Corps Order Papa 5060 TAC 20 is the Drill and Ceremonies Manual. In this order, you will find information on how to form and conduct uniform inspections along with the wear of accessories for ceremonies. The first uniform we'll talk about is the world famous Marine Corps Dress Blues uniform. There are two variations to this uniform, Alpha and Bravo. Dress Blue Alphas are comprised of wearing medals on the left side and ribbons that are not represented by medals on the right side. This variation is worn for military formal events such as the Marine Corps Ball and mess nights. Dress Blue Alphas are not authorized for Liberty. The Dress Blue Bravo variation is comprised of wearing ribbons and shooting badges on the left side. This variation is authorized for wear while on Liberty and for semi-formal events. The larger or shoulder grade rank insignia will be placed on the shoulders of the dress blue coat. The proper placement will be discussed further in this presentation. Females will wear smoky, gray, or off black hose for evening and formal events, and flesh tone hose for daytime or less formal events. During the summer months, all staff NCOs and officers will wear white pants or skirts. This will coincide with daylight savings time, which I will cover in later slides. A good rule of thumb is if your utility sleeves are rolled up, it is dress blue / white season. This picture depicts the legacy female dress code, which is phasing out of the Marine Corps. In the next slide, I will cover the new female code. One note for females who still own this uniform, the red neck tab is worn. Depicted on this slide is the new female blue dress code. In MAR Admin 569/18, it states that we are in a transition phase. The new code will be mandatory for all female Marines on 1 October 2022. The old code is authorized for wear until 30 September 2022. Now, let's talk about the dress blue Charlie and the dress blue Charlie and Delta. The dress blue Charlies are comprised of the long sleeve khaki shirt and blue pants or skirts. Male Marines will wear the khaki necktie and tie clasp. The necktie clasp will always be worn on the necktie when the khaki shirt is worn as the outer garment. Excuse me. It will be placed horizontally on the lower half of the necktie midway between the third and fourth buttons from the top. Female Marines will wear the black neck tab. Dress blue deltas are comprised of the short sleeve khaki shirt and blue pants or skirts. Male Marines will wear a white undershirt while a student at TBS. And if you want to maintain a squared away look, I would advise you to wear the stay dry material, the dry fitted material, for now and for the future. Ribbons are worn for both of these uniforms. Shooting badges are authorized for individual wear, but for uniformity, while wearing the uniform as the uniform of the day, shooting badges are not normally worn. Males will wear shirt stays to hold their shirts in a neat manner to include the webo. White pants are not worn with dress blue Charlies or Deltas. The blue dress cap is worn for all dress uniforms depicted on this slide and are the different bills specific to each pay grade. Company officers will wear the plain brim with the gold chin strap and gold screw post. All officers will wear the quatrefoil, which you can see on the top of the cap. Dress blue accessories. The officer dress blue eagle, globe, and anchors are gold and silver. The larger single device is worn on the dress blue cap. The smaller dual mirrored devices are worn on the dress blue coat. The anchors will always point inward towards your heart. Hey Marines, the rule of thumb there is anchor to anchor. It's always going to be anchor to anchor. The male's tie clasp is also gold and silver. Hey, don't confuse that with the enlisted full gold clasp. The Mameluke sword is worn as an accessory during Marine Corps ball ceremonies, other ceremonies, and parades. Now, let's talk about the Service Alpha uniform. The Service Alpha uniform is comprised of the green service coat, long sleeve khaki shirt, and green trousers or skirts. Ribbons and shooting badges will be worn on the left side. Male Marines will wear the khaki tie clasp, web belt, and the service belt with the cloth belt keeper. Collar stays are used to keep the collar firm. They are not a must-have. They are nice-to-haves in regards to the collar stays. Female Marines will wear the green neck tab and skin tone hose. Both the service and garrison caps are authorized for wear with the Service Alpha uniform. The garrison cap, the cover without the brim, is commonly worn for daily uniform wear. The service cap, however, the cover with the brim is commonly worn for ceremonies or in special units. Hey, the main takeaway from this uniform is that this is the service. This Service Alpha uniform is the uniform that you will wear when you check into any new unit. I say again, this is the uniform that you wear when you check into any new unit. Depicted in this slide are the components used for the Service Alpha uniform. The larger or shoulder grade rank insignia will be placed on the shoulders of the service coat. The proper placement will be discussed later in this presentation. The Service Bravo uniform is comprised of the long sleeve khaki shirt and green pants or skirts. Male Marines will wear the khaki tie and tie clasp. Female Marines will wear the green neck tab. The Service Charlie uniform is comprised of the short sleeve khaki shirt, green pants or skirt. Male Marines will wear a white undershirt while a student at TBS. And again, if you want to be squared away, get the dry fit version of the white shirt and wear it throughout your career. Like the dress blue Charlie and Delta, ribbons are worn for both of these uniforms. Shooting badges are authorized for individual wear, but for uniformity, while wearing the uniform as the uniform of the day, shooting badges are not normally worn. Both service and garrison caps are authorized. Company grade officers will wear the service cap with the plain brim, black chin strap, and black screw post. The larger black Eagle Globe and anchor will be placed in the front center of the service cap. The garrison cap depicted on the bottom in that little drawing right there is more frequently worn with the service uniform. Officers will place the collar grade rank insignia on the right side of the cap, centered and bisecting the arch. The single smaller Eagle Globe and anchor will be placed on the left side of the garrison cap. Authorized dress shoes. This slide depicts the authorized male and female dress shoes. Males may wear Oxfords and chukka boots. Females, when slacks are worn as part of the dress blue or service uniform, either black Oxfords or black dress flats will be worn at the individual's option, except that Oxfords will be prescribed for drill, parades, and other occasions which require functional uniformity. When slacks and Oxfords are worn, either dark hose or black socks will be worn at the individual's option. Dark hose will be worn with slacks and dress flats. All pumps will be of conservative cut with closed toe and heel without ornamental stitching or seams. This slide depicts the maximum size. Refer to Marine Corps Order Papa 1020 TAC 34 Hotel, page 1 TAC 50, figure 3 TAC 4 for further details on when pumps can be worn, as there are many configurations. The Marine Corps Combat Utility Uniform. Utilities are working uniforms and not appropriate for wear in a civilian environment. Marines, obviously, this is the Marine Corps uniform that you're wearing, probably as you're watching this video. Utilities authorized for wear come in two patterns. Woodland Marine pattern, also known as Marpat and Desert Marpat. Currently, the Woodland Marpat utility uniform is the only garrison seasonal uniform authorized to wear. It is comprised of the Marpat top and bottoms, green undershirt, and combat boots. All Marines will wear a green undershirt while at TBS, and if you want to look squared away, get the dry fit. Desert Marpats will be worn at the discretion of the appropriate level commander and when terrain requires. The seasonal uniform change will coincide with daylight saving time, with the daylight savings time conversion. From the Monday following the spring daylight savings time, Woodland Marpat will be worn with sleeves rolled up. From the Monday following the fall daylight savings time, Woodland Marpat will be worn with the sleeves down. This will also dictate the change between short sleeve and long sleeve khaki shirts in the service and blue dress uniform, along with the wear of white trousers. When sleeves are up, short sleeves are worn. White trousers or skirts for the dress blue Alpha and Bravo uniforms. When sleeves are down, long sleeve khaki shirts are worn. All right, let me read that part again. From Monday, from the Monday following the spring daylight savings time, Woodland Marpat will be worn with sleeves rolled up. From the Monday following the fall daylight savings time, Woodland Marpat will be worn with sleeves down. This will also dictate the change between short sleeve and long sleeve khaki shirts in the service and blue dress uniform, along with the wear of white trousers. When sleeves are up, short sleeves are worn, and white trousers or skirts for the dress blue Alpha and Bravo uniforms. When sleeves are down, long sleeve khaki shirts are worn. Utilities are authorized while commuting to and from work via privately owned vehicles. However, en route, stops while off base are not authorized except for bona fide emergencies. Marines, I have to emphasize, running out of gas is not considered an emergency. I would advise that you plan properly when commuting from base to home, base to base, whatever the case may be. If you get a flat tire, common sense dictates that you are authorized to get out of your car and fix the flat. Also, if you see a roadside emergency, like many Marines will do instinctively, will want to help that person. Hey, go ahead and help that person during their emergency. Once you're done, get in your vehicle and continue commuting to where you need to be. Marines may only wear utilities at off-base installations when using drive-through services. I think that's self-explanatory. Sleeves will be rolled with the inside out, forming a snug to the arm roll about 3 inches wide, with the bottom of the roll sleeve slightly above to no more than half the distance between the top of the shoulder and the top of the elbow. All right, so right there in the center of your arm, in between the top of the elbow and the shoulder. Commanders may direct the utility blouse be tucked in into the trousers in a neat manner. When doing so, will enable Marines to deploy and employ mission-critical equipment such as military police belt, duty belt, or pistol belt. Trousers will be bloused in a neat, uniform manner. When we say trousers will be bloused, we're speaking on the far right picture. If there's any confusion. The boots and utes uniform is authorized for specific events. The utility coat, most commonly referred to as the blouse, this is why I wanted to specify, may be removed only for physical training and official command work details. Moving personal effects from your room to your car is not considered a work detail. However, use common sense in this situation as to not cause unnecessary damage to your blouse. The crew neck sweatshirt may be worn when wearing boots and utes. All right. The Marine Corps martial art belt will be worn when wearing utilities. The end of the belt will extend 4 to 8 inches. I recommend cutting it halfway to kind of get into that sweet spot. So 6 inches would be the sweet spot. The socks that you'll wear will be coyote colored while you're wearing your utility uniform. Okay, so the field cap or the boonie cover may be worn during field type exercises only and may not be prescribed during parades. The field cap will not be worn for events other than field activities. I feel like you should be seeing a trend there. Do not wear the field cap to the chow hall. Field activities, not the chow hall. When worn, the field cap brim will be worn straight or angled slightly down. Marines aboard Camp Barrett will not salute when wearing the field cap. The cold weather coyote watch cap may be worn with the physical training uniform and utilities in garrison and in the field when weather appropriate. So it has to be cold enough to be able to rate the wear of the cold weather coyote watch cap. When in a non-tactical or garrison environment, Marines will maintain the same saluting requirements as if wearing the garrison cap. Marines will not salute when wearing the watch cap with the physical training uniform or the PT uniform. Uniform belts. This picture depicts the belts worn in the Marine Corps uniforms and the proper length of the extended end. The first picture on the left is the web belt. This is worn by males wearing service or dress trousers. The extended end will be within 2 to 4 inches. The next belt is the service alpha belt. This is worn on the male service alpha coat. So it should be green. I know the picture looks a little tan, but that's the green service alpha coat. And that's a depiction of the green service alpha belt. The measurement of the extended end is between 2 3/4 to 3 3/4 inches. This is the same measurement for the dress blue belt. This is the same measurement for the dress blue belt. The cloth belt keeper will be aligned with the pocket, as you can see. The last belt is the Marine Corps martial art belt. This belt will be worn by all Marines in the combat utility uniform or your camis. The extended end will be between 4 to 8 inches. So, the Marine Corps physical training uniform or the Marine Corps PT uniform. The standard Marine Corps uniform or this standard Marine Corps uniform consists of the green undershirt and green running shorts. So the picture on the far left is the standard PT uniform. During cold weather, the sweat top and the sweat bottoms may be worn, as depicted in the center. Additionally, the running suit may be worn, but it may not be in combination with the sweatsuit. So those are two different materials. The rule of thumb is we're not going to mix and match the materials. Only the sweat top and running jacket are authorized for wear during non-PT and Liberty attire outer garments. Reflective belts or glow belts must be worn before and after morning and evening colors. All right, and during period of low visibility. Company grade rank insignia will be worn with the long axis of the bars parallel to the front edge of the collar. All right, I'm gonna say that again. So company grade rank insignia will be worn with the long axis of the bars parallel to the front edge of the collar, not to be confused with parallel to the deck. All right, this is parallel to the front edge of the collar. When the shirt collar is buttoned up, the insignia will be parallel to the collar edge. Collar insignias will be placed 1 inch and cantered. Shoulder insignias will be placed 3/4 inches and centered. Collar grade insignias are smaller than the shoulder insignia. All right. Ensure you wear the correct size for each uniform. Collar, shoulder. Placement of ribbons for male Marines is 1/8 of an inch and centered on the pocket. When shooting badges are worn, the badges will be 1/8 of an inch above the pocket, and the ribbons will continue 1/8 of an inch above the shooting badges. All right. Ribbon holding bars may be worn with 1/8 inch gap in between the ribbons or without the gap per the individual's option. When men wear two badges, they are symmetrically placed on a line with about 3/4 inch space between the holding bars, but in no case will they span more than 4¼ inches. Does that make sense? And also, Marines, you can get certain kits and everything that will help you to get this right, so you don't have to eyeball it. Placement of ribbons and badges for female Marines. On a woman's khaki shirt, ribbons and badges will be placed even with or up to 2 inches above or a half inch below the first visible button and centered. On coats without pockets, ribbon bars and badges will be placed on a horizontal line with the bottom edge of the ribbon bar 1½ to 3½ inches above the first visible coat button and centered. Easy. When women wear two badges, they are symmetrically placed on a line. However, there must be at least a 1/4 inch space between holding bars. In no case will the space exceed a ½ inch. The new female blue dress code. Ribbons will be centered with the bottom edge of the bottom ribbon bar on a horizontal line midway between the first and second buttons of the coat, as you can see in the picture. The medals will be centered between the first and second button of the coat. When stacking medals, the senior row will be aligned in between the first and second button. Additional medals will be placed in a manner where only the medals are showing. Wearing of medals for female Marines. 5 medals is the max for each row. All right. On the 6th medal, you will stack 2 rows of 3. Refer to the uniform regulations for further details on how to stack uneven medals in more than 3 rows. The medals will be centered between the first and second button of the coat. When stacking medals, the senior row will be aligned in between the first and second button. Additional medals will be placed in a manner where only the medals are showing. As mentioned before, These are some of the uniforms you should be familiar with. It is imperative that you pick up the orders and look through them to make sure you and your peers, as well as your subordinates, are in compliance. All right, moving on to uniform restrictions. So, what do you think about this photograph here? Is this okay or unauthorized? Well, if you said unauthorized, you're correct. In the next few slides, we will learn these uniform restrictions. All right, so DoD restrictions. Uniformed military members may not participate in anti-democratic political sponsorship, public backing, or any other activities that may bring discredit to the military service. Restrictions per the Marine Corps order. Soliciting funds for any purpose from the public outside of a military base or establishment. Example, raising money for the ball. The next two are related. Excuse me. You basically cannot have the uniform and the name of the Marine Corps that accompanies it be used in an advertisement for any product or endorse anything with military affiliation. All right, you can't wear a uniform to sell Pepsi products. Participating in any type of show or event which is commercially sponsored for advertising purposes, where it could be implied or construed that the Marine Corps endorses the product advertised. Toys for Tots does not fall into this category because it is not soliciting funds and nonprofit charity for needy kids. Endorsing commercial products in such ways as to involve the uniform, the title, your grade or rate, or in any way establish or imply their military affiliation with such products. Appearing or participating in any event in public that would compromise the dignity of the uniform. All right, so those are your Marine Corps order restrictions. All right, so let's go over the civilian attire and the policy for the basic school, okay? So, civilian attire. So, male officers will wear collared shirts or crew necks if specifically designed as outerwear. All right, so you're not just going to pop up in a white t-shirt. If it's not designed for outerwear, you will not wear a white t-shirt. Khaki pants / shorts in good taste. All right. Belts. You always wear a belt. Nice sneakers or casual shoes. Nice clean footwear. Tucked in shirts with uneven tails. So if the shirt is made to be tucked in, you will tuck it in. Officers should dress up. All right. You will set the example of what a proper Marine looks like wearing civilian attire. This is not just for the basic school. This is for your career. Like male officers, female officers will also dress up. Here are a few restrictions to acknowledge in regards to female civilian attire. Okay, no low cut blouses, no excessively tight slash short clothing, no halter tops or spaghetti straps, and belts will be worn if applicable. When authorized for wear, informations, sunglass lenses will be of standard green, black, or brown as you were. Civilian clothes will reflect in style and quality the service Charlie uniform. So just to kind of backtrack, your civilian clothes will kind of reflect what it should look like, what you should look like in your Charlies. The following are examples of unauthorized civilian attire. All right. Torn or frayed clothing, shirts showing midriff, shower shoes and flip-flops, inappropriate language on shirts, PT gear other than for PT, shirts off during PT is not a PT uniform. All right. Clothes that show your undergarments. So there's a few things. We wear belts, so we don't worry about that kind of stuff. Backpacks. Only backpack, only black, olive drab, brown, tan, or a combination thereof, Marpac commercial or organizational backpacks of a conservative nature with minimal logo representation will be worn with the Marine Corps combat uniform. Both shoulder straps will be worn when wearing a backpack with the utilities uniform. All other bags will be hand carried. All right, back to the sunglasses. All right, so sunglasses will be worn in uniform as you were. Sunglasses, when worn in uniform, will be conservative in appearance without ornamentation. Manufacturer logos should be small and inconspicuous. Sunglasses may be worn on leave, liberty, and in garrison, but not in formation unless prescribed by the commander or certified medical authority. This is commonly seen when a Marine has corrective eye surgery. When authorized for wear in formations, sunglass lenses will be of standard green, black, or brown shade, or may be the type commonly referred to as photosensitive. Sunglasses that do not have photosensitive lenses will not be worn indoors. These types of glasses are prescription glasses that automatically turn dark outdoors or with light. These are examples of unauthorized sunglasses for wear in uniform. These would be okay to wear while on leave and liberty with civilian attire on. Although examples 1, 3, and 4 are mostly black, their logos are not inconspicuous, and their mirrored lenses make the pair of glasses not conservative. Next, I will talk to you about the uniform equivalencies with civilian attire. If you are attending a casual event, the service Charlie or Bravo is appropriate depending on the season. All right. You may also wear the dress blue Charlie or Delta uniform. All right. So, as you can see, that is the civilian equivalent to the Charlie uniform. When attending semi-formal events where suit and ties and cocktail dresses are worn, the service Alpha or dress blue Bravo uniform is appropriate. So there's your references. For black tie, tux, and formal gown events like the Marine Corps Ball, the dress blue Alpha is appropriate for wear. Keep in mind that the dress blue Alpha uniform is only worn for military functions. There's your civilian equivalent to the dress blue uniform. All right, grooming standards. Grooming standards must be checked routinely, but more often than not, the changes will be reflected in the MAR admin or all-MAR message. All Marines are responsible to enforce good order and discipline. If you see a Marine out of standards, correct it. In the next few slides, I will cover typical grooming considerations. Male Marines will not be allowed to grow out a mustache while here as a student at TBS. So male hairstyles, all right? No faddish or eccentric wearing of head, facial, or body hair will be permitted. Hair will be neat and closely trimmed. Hair will be evenly graduated all the way around the head, blended or faded, and not edged, not the bowl cut. Hair will not be over 3 inches in length, fully extended, and 2 inches in bulk. Teardrops, navy low regs, landing strips, and horseshoes are not authorized. Depicted in this diagram are the detailed regulations. Keep in mind that sideburns will be aligned with the top orifice of the ear. You will not have long sideburns. The next table demonstrates the female hair standards. I will cover some of the basics in this next slide, as there are many options for the female hairstyles. Refer to uniform regulations prior to selecting a hairstyle. Bottom line up front, females with long hair will put their hair up in a bun. The width of the bun may not exceed the size of the head, be deeper than 3 inches, and the bulk of the bun may not exceed 2 inches. Females with short hair can wear their hair down, but the length will not exceed past the bottom edge of the uniform collar. Rule of thumb, the hair does not touch your collar. These are the braided hair regulations. The biggest takeaway when using braids or twists is that they must be neat and in a professional appearance. It may not exceed the bulk of hair, and the bun may not exceed the size of the head. Um, 1 and 2 braid hairstyles are authorized uh, with medium and long hair. So let me make sure I said that right. 1 and 2 braid hairstyles are authorized with medium and long hair. Locks may be worn with short, medium, and long length hair. They require the partings to be square or rectangular in shape. Once again, all hairstyles will be neat and professional in military appearance. When wearing multiple locks, twists, and braids, they must encompass the whole head. Exceptions is the bangs. No mixing of the styles, so that's common sense. You generally should already know to not mix locks with braids, so on and so forth. When hair is of medium length, it may be worn with half ponytail during PT with or without the utility coat. Half ponytails must lie flat and cannot result in hair standing straight up or at an extreme angle or at extreme angles from the head. So I believe we call them flyaways. Maintain those flyaways. Long hair will be properly secured per non-PT hairstyle regulations. Coat on, long hair up. As you can see in this depiction here. Coat on, long hair up. Short hair. All right, so female Marines with short hair are authorized to do a zero fade at the hairline at the nape of the neck to a maximum length of 1 inch. Female Marines with long hair can shave the hair on the back of the neck that grows. As you were, female Marines with long hair can shave the hair on the back of their neck that grows below the hairline and cannot be pulled up into the bun. So you can shape up the flyaways. You are not authorized to do a zero fade on the sides of your head. The shortest you can go on the side is a 1/4 inch. You can do a 1/4 inch fade. Keep in mind that this does not mean that you can buzz your hair a 1/4 inch all the way around. All right, so general tips for Marines right here. Make sure you read the regulations before you commit to a hairstyle to ensure you are within the guidelines, especially female Marines. Since there are so many different hairstyles that are authorized but require extreme details and maintenance. Commanders have the ultimate responsibility for determining when a hairstyle is eccentric or faddish. Um, it is recommended for male Marines to get a haircut on a weekly basis to stay within the standards. And as always, make sure all hairstyles are neat and professional in a military appearance. All right, so the grooming standards continue. Male Marines will not have visible chest hair sticking out of any uniform. Um, that's simple and plain. Facial hair will be groomed per the uniform regulations. Male Marines will shave every day. Once again, mustaches are not authorized while you are a student at TBS. You must also shave on the weekends when on leave and liberty. Facial hair may be grown based on medical requirements. A no-shave chit is required from a medical provider. Excessive plucking or removal of eyebrows is not authorized except for medical reasons. Manicures and utilities. Here are some key guidelines for manicure wear while wearing the Marine Corps Combat Utilities uniform. The key word for these regulations is natural. For further details on colors you may wear for dress uniforms, refer to Marine Corps Order Papa 1020, Tech 34 Hotel. I believe the French manicure is the one that most Marines go to. Additionally, get familiar with the regulations for lipstick, makeup, and earring wear for civilian attire and uniforms. As stated before, you must be familiar with the contents of the uniform regulations to ensure you and your subordinates are in compliance with the order. And as we all know, male Marines are not authorized to wear earrings in civilian attire or, needless to say, in your camis. Good order and discipline. Marines of the selected Marine Corps Reserve will comply with the regulations, not in a drilling / active duty status. All right. The use of chewing gum, chewing tobacco, cigarettes, hands in pockets, or the consumption of food or beverage while walking in uniform or while in formation are examples of activities that detract from an appropriate military appearance or presence and appearance. Effective immediately in a garrison environment, you may not put your hands in your pockets other than to retrieve something from the pockets at any time. However, good judgment will govern the application of this policy while in the field environment. It's a no-no. In order to maintain good order and proper military courtesies, conversations on cell phones, to include the use of the earpiece while walking in uniform, indoors and outdoors, are prohibited. All right? Prohibited. You do not walk and talk on the phone. If you take more than 2 steps, you are considered walking and talking on your cell phone. The use of electronic equipment, i.e. portable audio devices, is not authorized while walking / running in uniform except as authorized per command / facility regulations. Hey, these also pertain to your PT uniform as well. Discipline, professionalism, and strict adherence to the highest standards of the Marine Corps regulations are expected of all Marines. Throughout the POI, you will participate in uniform inspections. Uniform items will be inspected for proper fit, cleanliness, and serviceability. Minor tears should be repaired and inconspicuous. Damaged uniform items should be replaced promptly. Proper grooming is required for uniform inspections. Marines, do not show up to a uniform inspection with holes in your garment, with holes anywhere, with dirt, with stains. All right? We always put our best foot forward. If you have a hole in your uniform, either replace that item or get that hole fixed. Wall locker and junk on the bunk inspections are means for the commander to ensure readiness of the Marines in their charge. Whether individual uniforms or organizational gear is being inventoried, emphasis should be placed on the importance that every Marine has a complete issue. If any gear or uniform items are identified as missing, they should be promptly replaced. Gear accountability is the individual's responsibilities. You will be held accountable and pay for any missing or damaged organizational gear. Prior to departing TBS, you will be inspected to ensure you have all of your CBAG requirements. For any further questions, feel free to ask me or your company staff leadership. As we continue through the POI, all Marines are tasked with enforcing regulations. Corrections are free. If you see something out of place, correct it. Police each other and set yourself and your teammates up for success. This concludes this lesson.